Welcome to the 2024 Telltale Heart mock trial. We have the narrator of the Telltale Heart on trial for committing a murder. We are here to determine whether he was in fact insane or not when this heinous crime happened.
Let me see everybody. Oh, you guys look good. Yeah. Boys, you look good too. Oh boy, looky here.
The judge is arriving. The defense is entering.
This execution. He planned it in the morning. He had a date, a time, and there were obvious signs throughout the documents of planning this up until the murder. On page 35, it shows, as in his quotations,
the narrator is clearly delusional because he planned his event out play by play. Play-by-play steps and actions was not like a snap and an accident happened because he did not snap. He tells us that he is crazy and he would have stopped himself, but he did not. In fact, he went to the men's room into the man's room at exactly 12 a.m. The narrator states, "I was never kinder to the old man during the whole week before I killed him."
He, the narrator, knew where he was going to place the dead man. When he killed him under the floorboards, that proves that he is a smart murderer. The whole thought in his head, he knew that this was going to happen, and he was just saying that so he could catch the police off guard and make sure that the police did not believe him.
This guy is and should be held guilty because of all these proven words from the attacker. The attacker has yet again confessed to the killing of the poor old man. Allowing people who plot killings for several days should not be allowed to see the light of day because of their crimes and cruelty. Will we let murderers roam our streets and kill innocent people, or will we take action and protect innocent citizens from those who we can put behind bars forever? We are standing here today to seek justice for the innocent old man and for his murderer to be put behind bars so he cannot hurt anyone else in our city. So will you help us place this criminal behind bars forever? We will not stop fighting for the old man until that madman is proven guilty and held for his execution. Why let this fully aware murderer roam the streets when you, the jury, can lock him up forever?
Thank you. Defense. Firstly, my client was aware of sounds and visions that were not present. Written in the confession, the suspect tells us they heard, they suspected, they knew. They were not making a mockery of my horror. They were making a mockery of my horror. This I thought, and this I think. The police were not suspicious of him and clearly mocking him, and it appears this is a separate reality than what was present. Someone who has a difficult time telling fantasy from reality is legally insane, and it seems my client would appear that way. Why would someone that was mentally insane admit to committing a murder that no one suspected him of? Thank you.
This man clearly cannot manage his own impulsive actions. For instance, the story writes, "Passion there was none. I loved the old man. He had never wronged me. He had never given me insult. For his gold I had no desire. I think it was his eye." Obviously, this man was legally insane, because his only reasoning to kill a man was his eye. Legal insanity is a mental illness that makes it impossible to know if they're committing a crime or let alone if their actions are wrong. How can anyone not see that this man is clearly insane?
First of all, the man is mentally insane. The reason behind this is because he cannot distinguish fantasy from reality, and he could not tell right from wrong. God says to follow the 10 commandments, but the 6th commandment says, "Thou shalt not kill." If you do something wrong, there are huge and massive consequences for their behavior. However, the man with a mental illness, and he could not tell that he was doing something wrong. For example, I cut off the head, the arms, and the legs. I smiled for what I had feared. I bled the gentleman welcome. Clearly, this guy is crazy. A mental stable man would not just kill an old man and invite the policeman in and then admit the committing a murder. But this guy did, which is another reason why he is not a mental stable man. And he should not be going to prison, but he should go to a mental insane institution.
First of all, the man begins to hear a heartbeat hastily beating faster and faster, which leads him abruptly leaping into the old man's room and pouncing on him, hence murdering him. He states, "In an instant, I dragged him to the floor and pulled the heavy bed over him. Yes, he was stone dead." This man is stating that because of his lack of control over his behavior and actions, he abruptly murdered the old man because of this old man's rapid heartbeat, which we all know you can't hear heartbeats like that. It's impossible. I cannot hear Miss Wendy's heartbeat from here. It is impossible. Only someone with legal sanity, not being able to control his or her behavior, could hear that, which thereby proves this man is in fact insane and should have all.
Object.
Go ahead.
If you say that he needs
Is the defense have anything to say?
Yes, I'll do this.
and then
Because there was no reasoning to kill this man. It was only his eye. Like, just because he planned it out doesn't, like, he can plan things out. Not everyone with mental
illness or disease that makes it impossible for a defendant to know they were committing a crime or to understand their actions are wrong.
he clearly planned the murder of this poor old man, this innocent man that didn't do anything to him, and he ended off with clearly killing him. So why should we let this insane man that we could get help for and hold accountable for? And why?
Objection! He stated the man needs help by going to a mental institution. Also,
After prison.
There you go.
you just said he was insane.
But he is insane, so then it,
He is,
but
exactly.
because
Do not talk over each other. Thank you. Does the defense have anything to say to?
I gotta say something. One moment.
Okay.
Okay, stay first. Yes. Okay. So you're saying you're gonna let this man who has dismembered someone, killed someone, and planned over the course of time to murder this innocent older man, and you're gonna let him get away, and you're even gonna use the Bible to, even though the Bible clearly says that not to murder, and you're gonna use that, and you're gonna let this man be innocent and go off free?
Alright, so, as my prosecution team has brought to me, they're using mental insanity as an excuse for murder because when you look at the quote,
Heartbeats, which you cannot hear heartbeats like that. I can't hear your heartbeat right now. It's not possible. It comes from mental insanity. So he is in fact insane. You're trying to prove that he's not insane when he is insane.
objection.
And
For the crime he committed, guilt is something that everyone feels. It's not one person. Is guilt a mental illness? I think no. The guilt that he was feeling about the murder shouldn't be an excuse for him to get off. It's not a mental illness.
May I add something to that?
Yes.
Alright, so when Avery was making a point about not being able to hear Anna Creech's heartbeat or Miss B's heartbeat, she is talking about like how she can't hear that. So if he is mentally insane, my question is how is he supposed to hear that? How? How if he's not insane? Wait, what am I about? I messed up.
So he says, for what I had to fear. He is saying, what have I had to fear? I have planned this for several days. I have come up with I don't think the police could solve this. And the only reason he was caught is because he was guilty, as Levi had said. Guilt is not mental insanity.
Objection.
Oh,
You're out of these.
actually, y'all have the objections.
Well,
Haven't they too?
Well.
Actually, y'all are all out of objections. So,
Judge, can I speak?
no.
no.
Hi. So just
Everybody,
Back and forth, back and forth.
we're gonna have y'all make one final statement, which means each of y'all can go one more time and say whatever you want. But actually, they should go first because y'all just talked. And everybody can say one final statement, one final thing to sway me, either way. And go ahead and talk amongst yourselves. I'll give y'all 1 minute. I'll set a timer to sway me, and then.
Having a mental illness does not mean that you're retarded or that you can't do anything or think. It simply means that, well, in this case, that you do not know the right from wrong.
Hurt other people. The fact that he is crazy or mentally insane, he should not be going into a real world, going insane and hurting other people.
Thank you. Prosecution. One last final statement from each of you.
Alright, so in one of the quotes they said the officers were satisfied my manner had convinced them. He knows what he's doing. He's convinced.
Anybody who murders should be held accountable. So if y'all don't want him or his attorneys see it as in his best interest to not go to prison.
Closing for our side. How are you going to let this man who planned a murder, dismembered a body, and ultimately tried to hide his guilt? How are you going to let him get off and go to? How are you going to let him get off and go somewhere and be a terror?
No, you state it.
Okay. Pooh is guilty and deserves to be locked in bars for as long as he lives. He should not be anywhere but prison.
He is not guilty by reason of insanity. He would be safer in a mental institution, and everyone else would be safer too.
Judge, is there anything else you need right now?
No. I'm going to confer with my notes and come back.
Great. All rise. The judge is going to be recessed for a few minutes, and we will just have a break. What is it?
Blood on his arm, on his forehead.
Oh no!
On his arm and his forehead from the killing of the old man.
Well, I mean, you're not.
Oh, all rise. Our judge is here. Everyone say thank you, Your Honor.
Thank
Thank you, Your Honor.
Who, as guilty, but because of the evidence that the defense has shown in towards his insanity, I see that he should go to a mental institution to help him, and even the help for. So it seems that Pooh needs help and is aware of sounds that weren't there, which y'all said it was because of his
Guilt.
And we all have the impulsive, and hasn't gone on trial before, which is something that y'all said was because he hasn't gone on trial was the reasoning why he hasn't been claimed as insane before. So anyway, he's going to a mental institution, not insane anymore. So over 50 years.
50 years. Boom, boom. Walk across the room and congratulate.
Good job.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Your Honor.
My honor, sorry. And now I'd like